Hello, guys. So I was asked to talk about Dark and Ardor combination comps. So I'm just going to point out which legends are going to be important, and I'm going to go down to the 5 stars that matter. I know they also asked questions about Damien, and I'm going to make a second video on that. So if you don't see that part in, that's why it's not there. So let's get started. The first thing is legendaries. Which ones are the one that when you're running this kind of comp, you really want to have? So the first thing you need to know is Ardor just doesn't have a good center mid. Well, Dark has two of the best center mids in game. Especially with the Cerestia changes, her active, she has a lot of value. So if you're running Dark Ardor, between Metatron and Cerestia, I'm going to say I've always just get him by Metatron. But if you have Cerestia, she isn't bad either because she destroys the enemy's action bar. She has a really cool active. She lowers their life, the critical resistance. You can even build her to die and give her. I keep forgetting the name of that unique, the one who decreases critical resistance in the line. There's a lot of stuff and different builds you can do with Cerestia. That's why I myself bought her just for COT. And I gotta say, she did carry me quite well. Even with the nerf, it wasn't even like that I was using her. So it's completely fine. Now, so you need one dark center mid legend wise. Until you have it, you can either go Leah or Linbell. I'm gonna say personally I prefer Linbell, but then again I'm light dark, so it's really up to you. Just Metatron Cerestia, just a better deal. Metatron more tanky, Cerestia more team buffy. It depends what you have and what you're looking for. Again, they're legendary, so it's not like I'm telling you go scout them. I mean you can, and if you do, you're really lucky as hell. But yeah. Now, if we're looking at the back line, you basically have two options. You have the options to be running Presti, who we can all agree is broken. I gotta agree that nerf really felt good because I run Avanchi. But if you're not running Presti, you can still run the good old Angela. She's the second best in this kind of comp. Go with a mono Ardor back, especially if you've got a Jiho or a Shu. That can work really great. You always got to try a throw in a Golf. Even if you don't put him back, I know a lot of people still don't do this, but you can put him mid. He does have a reflex. He has super play. He has a heal active. So you can just stack survival back and have him mid. Like this, he can use his active even though he's not taking a space back. So that's kind of a little trick you can try to use. So that's how you're going to try to build your back. Again, if you're running it with Angela, you know that the basic comp. You got to have some Death Queen. You got to try to have some Golf. Of course, you're going to have some Kevin. I think I don't even need to tell you guys how often he's going to be there. No running Lucian. Just stop. He got nerfed so many times. Everyone got buffed. He didn't get buffed. It just feels bad looking at him there. Then you can throw in a Yuri. If you don't have one of these players or you have a legend, usually you kick the Yuri. That's kind of what seems to be the consensus among the Ardor players. So you can look at mono Ardors for the backlines if you do not have Pressy. That is completely fine. And of course, if you want to throw in some legend, I don't know who you would throw from the Dark Squad, but you could. And no, I do not advise throwing Alice. I might love her, but again, if you're not mono Dark back, there is no point. But if you're going to go mono Dark back, you're going to be with Presty, and you're usually going to try to get, how does it go again? Presty, Avnor, Lindbergh, and there's two more, Patrica, and the Verizon. Those are like some of the units you'll usually try to run. It depends exactly what your team's running, what global buffs you have, but those are the ones you're going to be looking at the most. It's kind of very basic and obvious. Again, you can look at some mono dark teams just to see how they build their back too. That will also work. Again, in the mono dark, as we know, Avnor is really bad. So this is exactly when putting Galf mid is going to feel really great. On top of it, Presti is a self-healing goalkeeper. Now for the mid line, I don't think I need to tell any of you that you're going to have Victoria left side. It's just a fact. You don't question it. You just let her be there. Okay, in Dark Ardor, she's just going to be there. You're usually going to try Metatron, Cerestia, or one of the other two. Not as advised. And then for the right side, and this is going to be just, do you have Shu? Do you have Choi? Do you have Geo? She can be used mid because of how her new debuff works. So if you have one of those, you can throw them there. If you don't, I mean, this is when you can finally throw in that Alice. Any other little cool idea you want to have, if you want to throw in Golf. There's a bunch of cool options. If you've got like some really good stoning, some cool ideas, you can actually throw players like Jean. I've seen a few comps use him who are actually quite interesting. I know there's Kyoya on the forum who uses him, and I actually played against her who was really cool and original. So you can look up at a few different comps, but those are the main players you're going to be looking at. And we're looking at the front, well, for the most obvious of all reasons ever, you're supposed to have Elaine just because she's the ace. She's like the dark light, what am I saying? A dark Ardor ace you're going to be trying to run. Now, for the striker, again, do you have William? Do you not have William? If you have William, run William. I mean, that is completely obvious. And it's going to be the same with Balteon. If you have Balteon, run Balteon. I don't think I need to explain that. If you're running an Ardor striker, you're going to try to run Renee. And if you're running a Dark striker, you're going to try to run Shura in the 5-star. You're always going to have that Elaine. And for the striker, if you don't have a legendary, you're usually going to be going for Char or Lucid. I do know that there is a new striker who's part of what we're talking about, Damien. He has a lot of potential, but I'm not going to be recommending him yet until we know exactly the details of his EE. So that's why I'm not going to be recommending him. But for the moment, if they buff him the think I think they will. He will be very interesting. Do not use Ravian unless you got a lot of swag. Vitos is the same. They're just like outdated, and I mean they used to be good. They used to be. That's the problem. So yeah, I think this basically covers it. Again, if you have any specific question, if the person who requested this has any other ideas or things he wants to ask, just throw away. And I hope this helps you guys get a basic understanding. Again, you need to test it out, tweak it, see what's working for you, what's not working for you. This is just some general concept ideas. Have a good day, guys.